Hello everybody and welcome back to Wexcombe Manor Farm. We're just finishing off in field number 3. In the previous episode we were actually fertilising this field with the manure. There is, I think, just one more load to do, so I'm loading it up. And once that is done, we are going to cultivate the field. So we're essentially ploughing the manure into the ground. After this, it is going to be seeded. We will of course harvest that crop within this series. I don't know what it's going to be though. Technically it could be anything. Back in FS15 when we had the soil mod, when we were using the artificial fertiliser, you would have had to specify a fertiliser type, A, B or C, to be compatible or to be the appropriate fertiliser for that particular crop. But because we're not limited like that, we can obviously go for anything that we want to. Although it would be nice to have to choose the correct fertiliser. Makes it much more realistic. The capacity of the muck spreader is actually pretty large. It is, I think, about 34,000 litres. In the product description in the store, I think it states about 24. So it is wrong. It's much larger than it actually says it is. I'm just going to continue filling it up until it is full. And then, of course, we are going to spread it. What I really want to do is buy or lease a Kuhn cultivator. I would have gone with the subsoiler, but I think this field is a little bit too big for it, as in this game it is actually a replacement of the cultivator. You don't have to plough. So, yes, it's a good tool, but it would take forever in this field. So I am just going to go with the cultivator. We may have a cultivator. If we do, I'm going to replace it, because what I really want to do is, instead of doing just one video focusing on the Kuhn DLC, I would prefer to spread it over a number of episodes and use a different piece of equipment in each one. Then you get to see more detail of each tool. Anyway, yes, this is virtually full. There we go. Let's finish off. So there is indeed too much manure here, but that doesn't matter. This little section of the field is going to be left obviously uncultivated. In the future we can use this to fertilise it again. It's 32,000 litres by the way. I thought it was 34, but nope, 32. Still good though. Now, where do we get to? Just here. I was struggling a bit to keep it straight, but as long as we get everything covered in the end, then it doesn't really matter about being straight when we're doing it. So that's where we ran out last time. We'll just turn it off. Oh yes, and also, before, it took a very long time for the tailgate to go down, but it does actually sync with the hydraulics eventually. I think there is a delay, because obviously you are going to be turning it on again. It doesn't want to have to keep shutting it each time you turn off the PTO. I reckon the delay is about 20 seconds. But that's looking good. There are a few bits missed here and there. But if I can cover most of it, then, well, it's obviously going to be a dramatic difference to if we didn't fertilise it at all. Oh yeah, also, in yesterday's video I was using that Kuhn, Bale and wrapper combination, and I was looking through the different colour wraps and I was wondering where some of the colours had come from. So I didn't really know when you would use the white and the black. Apparently the black is for silage, because when the sun shines on it, it ferments quicker, which obviously makes sense. The white, I believe, is for haylage, from what I've been told. The green I'm not too sure about exactly. I think it is something to do with cancer, and the pink is breast cancer. In fact, from memory, I think somebody said that the green was something to do with prostate cancer, but I'm not too sure. But certainly the pink is breast cancer, because the Fendt Farmer, who is another YouTuber, he has actually covered this subject, and he has promoted breast cancer awareness. which is obviously very good. And yeah, there's some very in-depth and very interesting videos to watch over at the Funky Farmer. Definitely worth checking it out. In fact, just a few days ago, the Funky Farmer posted a video about hitting 1 million views on one video. Very impressive. That is hard to do. One of my videos has had 3 million, which is just ridiculous. I don't know how it's done that, but hitting 1 million is hard, and I think I only have one video which is over 1 million. So very impressive and very well done. I think it's because his videos are very topical and obviously true to life. It is real life, so it's very interesting to see. Anyway, that is us done here. Let's move on. We'll take this back to the yard. We're not going to return the muck spreader just yet because obviously it's got 68% in it, and we are going to need it again in a future video. So as long as we don't hold on to it for too long, we shouldn't be charged anything ridiculous. Plus we are playing in real time, so that always helps. Now the case, despite us using it quite a bit, it does seem to be the obvious choice of tractor for the cultivator, just because the cultivator is going to require a fair bit of horsepower. So unless we can tow it with the Massey Ferguson or something, I don't think we are going to be replacing this tractor or changing the tractor for another one. So the case is basically the all-round mid-range tractor. Really good, handy for most jobs. The only concerning thing is the price of this cultivator, because I really do want to show off different tools within the DLC, but I don't want to be ripping myself off by buying a new tool every single time. It's very expensive. We do have leasing. We will use the leasing system, but whenever I can avoid it, I will do. Now, where should we put this? I'm guessing just around the corner. These cows are making a big mess here. They always do. That's a good place. We'll stink the shed out. Just here. Nice. Yes, there was a John Deere tractor which I downloaded. I was going to use it in this Let's Play, but it turns out I think it was that crashing the game, so I've deleted it. It looked quite good. I can't remember the model number exactly, but yeah, anything which crashes the game isn't really worth having. That's the issue. Some modders go to the effort of putting in loads of work and making these mods look really good, but then obviously they need a bit of fine-tuning, which lets them down. And if a mod crashes the game, it isn't really worth having. So, yes, we need to look on the store page for cultivators. What do we have? I think we did recently upgrade. Did we recently upgrade? Or do we not own one at all? Yes, we do. The Catros 6002-2. Yes, this was good because it could do the slurry combination if we wanted it to. So that is handy. I think it goes on the Zunhammer or Zunhammer. But I think the best thing for today is to try out a different cultivator. It's very bad business sense to lease another one, but I just really want to try out a different one as they're new. So this one can actually fertilise at the same time. Although, hang on, it says here, a cultivator prepares fields for the sowing, and then it's got like a symbol of the oilseed radish here. So let's hope, no, maybe it can't. What is this? I'm not sure what this is referring to, but it shows that it can do grass and the oilseed radish. Maybe it's ideal for cultivating those two in. I'm not too sure. I don't think it is anything in particular which they're showing here. I should think it can be used in conjunction with other stuff. Ah, looking at this, we've got a power harrow as well. It looks to me like you can actually use this from scratch. You can power harrow the ground straight away. But I've always known a power harrow to be used after ploughing. I might be wrong, but usually I think it is to break down the furrows which have been produced. So technically I think we should plough first of all, but we're not going to today. But yeah, looking forward to using this again in the future, at some point in the future. which leaves us with just these two. 240 horsepower or 220 horsepower. The larger one actually requires less horsepower, interestingly. But that is what we're going to go for. Let's look at the dramatic price difference as well. I won't faff about, let's just go with this one. It's only £1,000 to lease. Off we go to the store. Yeah, clearly there is no tractor which we own which is capable of towing that. So it is just going to be the case tractor. So yeah, my plan is to get it all cultivated in today. And then we'll be able to get it all seeded in the next episode. Or possibly, if we do it very cleverly, we could have the seeder following us. However, that could be risky, and to be honest it could make quite a mess, because we know what these workers are like. Yes, I think it is easier just to not do that. Although, in theory, it could be a very good idea. The other solution is to use a direct drill, which would allow us to plant in that field straight away, without even preparing it. But I do really want to prepare it first of all. It feels wrong, since we have just spread spread manure on there. Not cultivating it in would probably be a strange thing to do. So, here it is, the Kuhn Performer 4000. Like I say, please don't post in the comments saying you've just been stupid because you've just basically leased something which you technically already have. The only reason I've got it, like I say, is because I'm showing off different pieces of equipment in the Kuhn DLC. But this is another one of those cultivators which is quite long, but it's not very wide. So it must really break down the soil in different stages. That's where the horsepower of the tractor is going to, having to pull that, rather than just tickling the surface and having a relatively wide working width. But no, certainly it does look very well made. Lots of detail. You can see all the hoses for the hydraulics. You must have quite a few hydraulic rams on it. How many would it have? 2? No, 4. At least 4. But then we've got, it looks like height control. So that would be another 2, so that makes 6. Yeah, I think we can quite safely say that this cultivator has quite a few hydraulic systems on it. But it should be exactly what we need today to really cultivate that manure into the ground to create a very productive seed bed. This is a very bumpy track. Oh, jumping out of seat here. Already we have 5.2 hours on this tractor. I don't feel to have used it that much, but clearly we have done. Maybe I'm using it too much. That's actually a pretty good place for the combine. We don't really need to move it. It's secure enough here. I think we're going to start at this end of the field. I will, just to begin with, leave a section here. And in fact, what I could do is create this little corner as a cover crop for the birds and the wildlife. Yeah, that is not very wide at all. This could take some time. So off we go. The tractor is having no problems at all with pulling this. But yeah, this is, like I say, quite a big field. Well, every field on this map is pretty big. This one is no exception. So we really do have to have the biggest equipment if we can help it. But clearly this time we've gone for something a little bit smaller. But having said that, it still requires 240 horsepower. Or 220 horsepower. I think the GPS mod could come in handy here. Keeping this nice and straight. So this is again another job which is going to be fantastic for doing a time lapse on. So I'm going to rummage through my little selection of tunes which I have got. and hopefully I find one which fits the job. Now I'm actually lucky enough to have an intelligent, well, a sort of intelligent worker. Let's just look away while it's driving through the hedge. It is clever enough to stay in the lines, so what we're going to do is grab another cultivator, the one we actually own, and continue in the same field, get the job completed twice as fast. That is actually doing a very good job despite driving through a hedge. So, there we have it. One cultivator. Let's grab another. Now I reckon a good machine for this job is the 8340. This, as far as I'm aware, is the only map we now have this tractor on, so this is the map it's going to stay on. Where did I put the cultivator though? It's obviously around somewhere, but where could it be? I reckon it's up here. I think I put it away. Was it in the shed? It was definitely somewhere. There it is. We will attach that to our New Holland. Oh, open both the doors here. And we will join in with the cultivating. We'll probably do the other side of the field though, otherwise we're going to be in the way. It is set up, I believe, for the slurry, but we won't be applying it today. There is absolutely no need to at all. There it is. So what is the working width of this cultivator? I think it is wider, and we've got it on a smaller tractor. We are, for some reason, driving backwards. This does happen. This one here, 6 meters. So yes, it is 2 meters wider. So effectively here, we are doing 10 meters at a time because we've got two cultivators on the go, one at 4 meters and one at 6 meters. I rarely do this. I don't usually have a worker and me working in the same field at the same time. But actually, it could work very well. If it messes up, we can see it, so we can correct it if we have to. And obviously the job is going to be done faster. The best tractor to do the time-lapse in is this tractor, so we'll do it in a second. Here we are. It's still going strong, that's good to see. I hate it when you turn up at a field and the worker has decided to go and crash into a tree. Very frustrating. Yes, it's clearly on the limit of the tractor. It shouldn't be on this tractor at all. But it is our biggest, possibly with the exception of the Massey Ferguson. Yeah, it's the Massey Ferguson is actually quite big, despite it being a drop nose. 130 and 125, so yeah, the Massey Ferguson is bigger by 5 horsepower. But the weight can really affect it. I don't know which tractor's heavier. At a guess, I would say this one, but could be wrong. Anyway, off we go. Twice as fast cultivating. But, despite this being a wider working width, as you can see we're doing just 6 miles per hour, whereas the case is doing 10. So maybe the case is doing more per hour.
Would you come running if I called you and give me a helping hand? Would you come catch me if I fell down towards a bitter end? You wanna talk about it, you couldn't live without me. You know you had your chance, it's over. So just go on, I don't wanna care anymore. There's no more between you and me, so just go. There's nothing left
So that is the field almost finished. There is a tiny bit left. I'm hoping the other worker is going to turn around and finish this bit, but it seems to have got into a habit of stopping. So I think I'll start just in case. Obviously if it does head down here we can just divert. Perfect width for us anyway, at 4 metres. Yes, it has stopped, weirdly. So there are just a few little bits which need to be finished off, but then that is going to be field number 3 cultivated. Which means it is now fertilised and prepared, ready for the seed, whatever it may be. Please let me know, it isn't going to be corn. That is the only thing it's definitely not going to be, because we are going to have a cover crop on the side of the field just for the wildlife and the birds. It is slightly in the way. That would do. So yes, we've got this bit here, and then in the corner there is another section. But no, I think it's actually gone pretty well. And I always think doing a time-lapse for that kind of thing works the best. There is quite a high chance that the seeder which we use is actually going to be a direct drill anyway, which would mean what we've done here is totally pointless. But like I say, it does feel wrong not to cultivate the manure in. It would seem like a very strange thing to do, or not to do. As far as I'm aware, you can't turn with this cultivator. There are some which you can turn a certain direction. I don't know if this is one of them. But no, certainly it is looking quite good. Obviously it is just a cultivated field at the end of the day, but no, the Kuhn cultivator has worked very well, and using our larger one obviously has been very beneficial to the operation. It's really speeded it up. Ah yes, a bit of an update for you on the Kubota, for those of you who are interested. This is my restoration. Progress is slow, but it is progressing. I do have a video lined up for you very soon. It's probably going to be within a week. It could actually be a week away, as I haven't even narrated the video yet. But it isn't too far away, and definitely the project is still ongoing. It's probably going to be finished in April, May time, I would have thought. Because although I have got quite a large chunk of the work done, there's lots of little jobs to finish off, which is always very slow. So I can't really put a definite finishing date on it, but I can put like an estimated date, which I think is going to be April, possibly May. It just depends how things go. The 4-wheel drive kit has arrived, which I bought, because obviously the 4-wheel drive wasn't operational. I'm hoping it's going to be as simple as just fitting it all, and then it'll be all fully operational. But yeah, if it doesn't go to plan, then it could be quite costly. In fact, it already is pretty costly. And here is the New Holland tractor, which has actually performed very well today. Because when you think about it, it isn't a very big tractor. 125 horsepower, and it's got a 6-metre cultivator on the back, fully mounted. That is heavy. Like I say, that bit over there is going to remain as it is. So let's just take all this back to the yard. The Kuhn cultivator can actually be returned. Let's hope it can manage to get around the corner. Always a good laugh with the workers. Yeah, but it's just looking very painful. I thought for a second that it had actually lost us, but no, it was just taking its time, which is good. We don't want it to be crashing into everything it sees. I must remember to stop the worker though, before it crashes into me. Where is it? There it is, flying into the yard. Whoa, handbrake turn, fantastic. Always a bit of cabaret on this farm. Like I say, this is going to be returned. I'll do it off screen though. So put that here. This could be a grain store, but today we're using it for a tractor store. And there we have it. The cultivation is done. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you do want to download the Kuhn DLC, you can do. It's €15, which I think is about $15 as well. But yes, the download link will be below, so that'll be there for your convenience. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.